Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Wednesday the 15th of February 2023. I want to use the Osho Zen deck for today's reading. So I'm just going to shuffle these a few times and choose 3 cards to see what's coming up here today. So first card is the burden. I would say that's the 6 of Swords. And we've got the opposite of a burden. We've got trust. And finally, conditioning. Oh, wow. Okay, so the 6 of Swords is a journey. And in this case, it's a person who looks absolutely exhausted, being bossed around by someone sitting around his neck. He's being instructed to carry him up the mountain, and he's got a rooster on his head. So the rooster to me says ego. The fancy clothes on the man who's kind of making these demands is that he's in a position of power and he's abusing it. He's holding a wand in his hand, so he's very passionate about what he's doing, but he doesn't seem to notice that he's causing a lot of pain and suffering. So that's interesting. The 6 of Swords in itself is a journey. It's usually a difficult journey. It's a change that has to be made. But here it's being bossed around by another person who becomes the burden. So the cards are kind of warning you today that other people may make demands of you which are unreasonable or over the top, and really not to let yourself be taken advantage of. The next card is trust. And I love that image. It's just someone flying in the sky. That's such a sense of freedom. My ex-partner, he always had the best dreams. He would always fly at night and things like that. I've never experienced that. I've always been really into dream interpretation because any symbols I just really love. And to fly in your dreams is like one of the highest states of joy. It's really... I can imagine it and how great it must feel, but I can only imagine. Okay, so in this case, it's trust. And we've got this blue diamond here with an arrow to the left. So I'm getting that this is in the suit of water. And water is about connection and love and spirituality, and really feeling well and complete within yourself. The colors are interesting. We've got this blue and pink, and that speaks very much of the heart chakra and the emotions coming together. So it's a good feeling. It's a feeling of trust, being supported by the universe, and trust in the self as well as the universe. I can fly. I don't really need to have this situation happen. If it does, I have the power and the freedom to just fly away. So what I'm getting is that it's important to trust yourself here. And if something doesn't sit right, don't engage. And it's not even putting your foot down or standing up for yourself, but sometimes if someone demands something of you, before you can even think, you're like, okay, well, and often people will use that sense of urgency to kind of disarm you. So that's what I'm getting, that don't let yourself be talked into something that you don't want to do, and really trust yourself, and particularly trust yourself despite the potential fear that if I leave this employer, if I leave this institution, if I leave this demanding person, then what's going to become of me? At least this is the devil I know. So the cards are saying, don't stick with the devil you know. And I mean, here we've even got the devil. So it's much more about saying, I will find another way of creating security for myself. This isn't the only person in the world who I'm going to have a relationship with, whether it's a personal relationship or a business relationship, or I need this person in a way. There are millions of other people on the planet, billions literally, and I have the freedom to step away from that. And particularly, I have the trust that I'm going to be okay if something changes, and if I'm the catalyst for change. So, like in this scene, if this man, he suddenly says, do you know what? I am out of here. I'm going to take my last ounce of energy and fly down the mountain. This man wouldn't last very long. The person who really needs the other here is this man needing him. Because he's got an objective. He's exploiting someone to get there. He's a big clown. If this person takes themselves out of the equation, then the tables will be massively turned. So it's that recognition that the contribution you make is really important and you don't need to allow yourself to be mistreated. I might be going too deep now, but it's even that recognition that this behavior is not acceptable, or this contract is not worth my life. Finally, we've got the 15th card in the Major Arcana. We've got this sad-looking lion hybrid type of thing. His feet are bound, and he's bound a sheep to his back. Okay, so we've got a predator doing what he does best, also exploiting other people, a sheep in this instance. But it's interesting about the feet that are tied. Doesn't make much sense. He could have tied this thing to his stomach. It wouldn't have impeded his ability to walk. So what I'm getting via this card is what you do unto others, you will get back. The golden rule, what you put out, you get back. So he's binding and trapping an animal, and in the process, he's binding and trapping himself. I don't think he'll make that mistake again. And it's very similar to this card. Something is off here. And it's important to remember that you're completely free to choose your own life, and that no one's going to govern what you can do. I mean, to try and get more specific with that, finances can often make us feel completely trapped. Jobs that are kind of exploitative in nature, and there are kind of a few of those around, that where you feel really, really reliant on the income, again, that is something that can really trap people. Relationships, the fear of being alone. I'd rather stay in this relationship that I'm not happy in. At least I have company, you know? Or at least it's again, the devil I know. It's all of those things happen. That sense of stuckness is particularly because trust has gone somewhere. The trust in the universe has been replaced by the relationship or the job or the finances or the house or whatever it may be. And the cards are really reminding you today to trust yourself, that your life is so much bigger than these temporary circumstances, and fundamentally to love yourself, because that's what's going to get you out of these situations. It's that moment of saying, I love myself. I love myself enough that I'm not going to endure this burden imposed on me by other people, and I'm not going to allow myself to be tied down just because I am afraid that things could get even worse. So it's a way of breaking out of the conditioning and a sense of my life is heavy by getting back to basics, going back into your heart chakra and saying, I love myself. And even if I was someone who I truly, truly love in my life, and I had to be instrumental in kind of creating a life for that person, what would it look like? You being that person. Okay, so number-wise, we've got 6 and 1 is 7, and 15 is 22, and 22 is the master number of the builder. So by loving yourself, that's how you can escape difficult circumstances and build the kind of life that you want. And that's going to be much more solid. Okay, wow. So I hope you have this moment of insight where it's like, I love myself so much that certain things have to go, and that you feel freer in your life as a result. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on Book Your Reading to audio reading with me. I use the tarot, astrology, and numerology, as well as my intuition in my personal reading. So if you have any questions around your life purpose, what's coming up in future, certain things like moving, locations that would work for you, relationships, anything at all, please do get in touch with me for a personal reading. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, please hit subscribe and share the video online. Have a fabulous day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.